Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to. Oh, I just messed it all up. I
You
just
really
messed it.
didn't, because I was gonna jump right in. You could have kept.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Royalty Real,
And I'm the Sensual Genius.
and
Welcome
welcome
back
back to
to
Royal
Royal Genius
Genius
Review.
Reviews. I thought we had it. I thought we had it.
Me too.
Today, we're gonna be reviewing season one of Bel
Of
Air.
Bel Air. Yeah, I'm late. But it's cool. I'm gonna catch up.
It's good because a lot of people did not want to watch this show when they first heard about it.
Yeah.
So I want to know, how did you first hear about it?
Will, from I think seeing something that he was doing and him talking about it or whatever. That's when I first saw it. I'm like, oh, they doing the Fresh Prince reboot. I love, like, everybody's favorite comedy from the 90s was Martin. Mine was Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Definitely
And I
mine
loved it.
too.
I was okay with them doing a reboot because all of the characters that played on there are still available for it, except Uncle Phil, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
Rest in peace, James Avery.
yeah,
Legendary
rest in
actor.
peace. Amazing. But the fact that they w- decided to go with a drama was interesting to me, but at the same time, I ain't watch it because I'm bad at I got a long list of shows that I'm supposed to watch. But we getting there. We getting
So do I. My list is crazy. The shows I
there.
gotta watch, but I like diving into stuff when it's done. So like,
Same, because I like
so
binging.
yeah. So I know that I don't want to like wait like everybody else. Like when a season, especially when a series leads off on a bad cliffhanger, it was just like, come
Yeah.
on, man, you gotta wait a whole nother year.
Yeah.
But
Anime.
right, and sometimes it'd be 3, 4 years waiting on the anime to come back.
Yeah, bro.
Come on now,
Maybe giving me anxiety.
man. So I heard about this show. Actually, I saw the original trailer, which was just like a fan made thing.
Oh,
Which so that's where the idea came from. Was the I can't remember the director's
really?
name, which was there's a I'm gonna send it to you, but there was a trailer for it that and it was supposed to be like what kind of like a what if it was a drama. Will saw it and was just like, let's do it for real.
That
Uh,
is dope.
That's dope because they and he had like the guy was really wanted to do it, but he
Let
was
me
just like,
start making fan made trailers.
exactly,
I'm about to
exactly.
start doing it.
So that's when I first saw the trailer. I'm like, this actually looks interesting. I will watch this.
Right,
And then I saw that Will had got behind it, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. I don't feel like it's too near and dear to Will for him to mess it up
right,
because this is his first real acting job. This
right.
There's so much legendary stuff that happened because of this show, styles, everything like that. Like Will was fly. Like people wanted to dress like him.
Still,
Yes,
still.
yes. Like he created trends. Everything from that show is
Also, he
legendary.
wore crop top. He wore crop top, and he looked good in it.
Everybody trying to talk about that's gay now. Get out of here.
Right.
Get out of here, bro. uh, so coming in, my expectations were high, but I think everybody else's expectations were higher from what I was hearing. They were like, oh, they were so worried about it getting messed up. Like, oh, they're gonna just destroy it. I'm like, you have to have an open mind first
Right.
because this is not Fresh Prince. This is not a comedy. That was it was a sitcom. So
Right.
rarely do sitcoms sit in the heavy stuff like the dad situation.
Mm.
Like the most famous line of the series probably is that why he don't want me, man.
Yeah, why he don't, yeah.
But after that, the next episode was funny. They didn't sit in that,
Right.
which this gives you the chance to explore all those emotional things. Like it's an emotional thing to be moving from Philadelphia to LA. To
LA.
that's a big move,
Two different worlds.
hugely different. Every time I go somewhere else, I'm just like, this is not California. It's a totally different environment. People think differently, talk differently. The things move slower or faster here than like. Come on now.
Right. It
So
was huge.
to explore it, it was like This is dope. So I think this one is probably better to talk about the characters than the story. What you think?
Right, we can do that. Think about first
So
of all, Jabari Banks,
yes.
the one that plays Will. I think that they did a great job. I don't think I've ever seen him. Has he been on anything before that?
Not that I've seen. I think this is his first official acting role.
And like he gives me Will. Even though this is a drama, he gives me Will. Like amazing. Like I wouldn't have picked a better person. Like he looks similar to him. Like the personality is
Yes.
him. Like and even he doesn't overdo it. It's like he does just enough to give you Will.
Yes,
And
because it
I really think that like they did a great job casting all of the characters, by the way, but
yes.
especially him.
Yes, fantastic. When I first saw him, I'm like, okay, how is he gonna do it? And you could tell somebody's trying to do their best Will Smith impression. It
Right.
don't feel like an impression.
Exactly.
It kind of feel like you captured the essence of Will Smith and you're just that's who you are now. Like
Right.
it was just like, okay,
Oh,
this is
he will from now on.
yeah,
Any
for
other
real.
thing he do, he
he
will.
he Lil Will basically. Like the way he talks, like even the tone of his voice was just like, yo, I'm like, how do you
Like
do that?
that's his son.
Right. Might be somewhere. Will probably got down back in the day. But uh so me first seeing him, I'm like, I'm blown away. Like I was blown away
Same.
from the first episode. So I'm hooked the first episode. I'm like, okay.
Same.
Cause I'm like, if you don't get Will right, then I can't. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tune out. So I'm
But he
like,
was perfect.
he's the right amount of funny and popping his shit. And then
Right.
I like the fact that he got that Philly accent down for real
I
too.
lo bro, that too, because I was like, accents is a thing, like, when you mess it up, they gonna let you know that you
Hell
messed
yeah.
up their accent, but he do got it, and it's not too much, like I said, it's not too much where, like, it makes you focus on just the accent. Like, he
Exactly.
has the personality mixed with the accent and just his mannerisms, like, everything he got down, like, it's just perfect.
It's crazy that's his first acting job, and the sky's the limit for him after this
Yes.
because he's knocking this out the park. He's locked in into this role. You could tell he's emotional.
Do you think that it being his first acting job makes it easier to do this or harder?
I think it's probably a mixture of both
Right.
because coming in, like, okay, they can mold you into it, but at the same time, they're molding you into somebody else. Like a
Exactly.
lot of other actors, they have the opportunity where they know the process to change into somebody else. Like Will Smith had to play Ali, so they trained him how to turn into somebody else.
Right.
So he knows, like he's played other people now. So it's just like, okay, the process is not the exact same, but the basics are study this person, do all of
Right.
this, you know, so you know, but I don't think he knew any of that. He's just coming in,
Right.
I want to do this, but I'm gonna take it seriously. And
Right.
the fact that Will was there to help with the process, I think probably helped him a lot too.
Yeah, because he has it down pat. But we're gonna see like whenever he get other roles, if he's gonna be well. Because you know how sometimes a person plays a role so well till they that person on
I'll get
every single.
typecast.
Exactly.
I don't want him to get
So,
typecast.
me neither, but I think that he's amazing. He reminds me of, like, the little boys that did, New Edition biopic.
Oh yes. Yes.
He
They all
reminds me of
stood out.
those.
They all stood out.
Amazing.
And now they're all killing it. Like what's his name? That played Bobby Brown is killing it as Kane and Power.
Yeah.
So like
His name is, dang, I forgot his name.
when we talk about Power eventually,
Yeah.
but I know you talk about what do you think about the fact how he emotes as his character as in
You
Jabari
mean
Banks?
like his emotions, his
Yeah.
feelings?
Yeah.
I think it's perfect. I feel like he's like the character that is the most emotional. He knows how to be emotional or whatever. It doesn't look forced, it doesn't look fake.
Not at
And
all.
I think also he teaches the other characters
Yeah.
to be emotional as well.
I
Like, you can learn from him. But I think he kills it at that too.
I feel
And
like
like I
he
said, he doesn't oversell it.
not at all. He's not because it's obvious when somebody's just
Yeah.
doing it for the whatever, it feels natural. It's not like a scene where like we were clowning about it earlier, like he
He
cries a
always
lot,
crying, yeah.
but those situations are situations that you probably really cry in.
Right.
Like it's just like I
Definitely.
understand, but this nigga crying a lot.
And it makes you also recognize that he's a child still. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
he's a teenager, he's what, 16 or whatever, but he's still a kid. And the way that he's processing things is like how a kid would.
Exactly.
Except um he's able to intellectualize his feelings.
Yeah.
Like he can talk about it. He knows how he's feeling, and then he shows it well.
I feel like he's emotionally mature in some ways, but then
Right,
other ways he's like fly off the handle. Like we
right,
see that in the first couple episodes when
right.
he
He has
punches his
a
cousin.
he has an anger problem. Yeah,
And when he's first introduced, I feel like he's speaking for us because it felt like when he first gets to the mansion and everything, like that's just how I would react to too. Like, damn, but
same.
it was a comparison to me, a direct comparison to the original.
Right,
When Will walks into that house, I'm like, but you gotta think about it. How would an upgraded version of that look like in 2022 or 2021? Like,
right.
this is a big ass house. Like,
And then in the episode too, how they put some of the theme song into it, it didn't seem cheesy.
it
Like
didn't.
they just I was like, I like this. Like everything that they were doing, I was like, I like this. Like this
I,
is dope.
I was really upset about some of the hate people were giving it at first because I think they just wanted a exact reboot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why? We already saw that.
Right.
That series is perfect as it is. It don't need to be changed like that.
Right.
What we need is a different take on it, which is
And I think they did a great job.
so Jabari is great, and his name and everything is perfect.
It
Jabari
is.
Banks, like, come
It
on, man, like
is.
you were meant to
This
play this
this
role.
role was perfect for him. Like it was.
uh, who do you want to talk about next?
We can go with Aunt Viv because she's another one that I felt like was spot on.
Yes,
Like she was spot on.
Cassandra Freeman. Have you seen her anything before this?
Yes. I think I told you I saw her in I forgot the movie that I told you, but yeah, I saw her before this.
I had not seen her in anything before.
Beautiful woman. Like
Very
she
beautiful.
looks just like the original Aunt Viv to me.
As soon as I saw her and she walked out, I'm like,
Right, the same type of like, cause the poise, the mannerisms, and without, and I feel like she's literally being herself, but like as Aunt Viv.
well, when the show first came out, the original, she was one of the most seasoned actresses that was on the show.
Right.
So it felt like it, and Cassandra feels like she's that seasoned actress. Like she's here to knock it out the park. She knows what role that she's in,
Right.
everything, and her cadence and everything sounds like the original Annabelle.
Exactly.
Not just the looks. I'm just like, because this looks is one thing, but can you be this person?
Right. She carries it well. I definitely think she does. And also like being from Philly, so she shows a different side of a person from Philly, but she is also like from LA and she's LA, but she still has a little Philadelphia in her. And then when Will comes, he brings more of it out of her. And it's cool to watch. It's cool to see her kind of like go back and forth and like reminisce. And I'm a Philly girl. Like this is, the comparisons and stuff like that. And like having that thing for them to connect to bond over.
Exactly.
I thought that that was amazing.
I feel like they didn't do that explore that enough in the original series. I feel like The
Right,
original Aunt Viv, she was already LA. This is
right,
she was high class. We didn't really
right,
see her kinda change up until what was it, the 3rd season, the season before she left. And it was
right.
just like, dang, now it's just like we don't get to see that connection. Like, you are part of 2 worlds. You are part of LA, but you are
Exactly.
also Philly, and you get to see that in her.
Exactly. And then also how the story unravels through the episodes. I think the storytelling was amazing. So it made the characters shine brighter because of how the story was told. And like I said, her and Will bonding over that. And then like even though she's like trying to get him to realize that you kind of have to put that behind you so you can have a better life, but at the same time be yourself, be true to you.
Exactly.
um, and like as like she's, reminding him of that or whatever, I feel like he reminds her as well, this is where you come from. Don't forget where you came from. And
Exactly.
she's more I guess you could say she thinks about it more. Like, for instance, whenever they're doing certain things, like she remembers, oh, back in Philly, they weren't able to have this or they weren't able to have that. We're able to do this or whatever. And her getting back to her old self too, because she lost a little bit of herself being a wife and a mother, as a lot of women do. And I feel like that's also a great story that they're telling as well. Her struggle with
Exactly.
motherhood and being a wife.
Exactly. And the fact that she's able to teach him how to navigate the world because she already had to do it. So it's just
Right.
like, so she's the best. I'm telling you, there's a different way to go about it here.
Right, like,
We,
you're
we can
not
get
losing yourself,
exactly,
right,
and all the challenges. I love the storyline with her and Michael Ealy's
right,
character.
same.
I'm like, Michael Ealy, it's a sidetrack a little bit. He's one of those characters that people bring in just to be a love interest. Just like Rick
He
Fox.
is.
Looks like Rick Fox, every time I see them in the cast, I'm like, they somebody's love interest. I already know.
Yeah,
You coming in and you somebody like you gonna do something or
right.
whatever. And how they tease us a little bit that she might be weak into that episode where she just like, "Ah,
Yeah, like, "Nah, I ain't with
nah,
that."
no, I'm married. No.
And her husband fine, so she ain't missing nothing.
Exactly. That was perfect for me. Like, she's honestly, I can't think of anybody that would have done a better job as
Me neither.
casting Aunt Viv because that's one of the roles that you got to get right. Especially the
You
fact that
have
there
to.
was a big change in the show.
Exactly. It
Like,
was important for them to do that.
yes, that's one of the I was looking at. Like, come on, who it is? Who is it? And when I saw her,
Right.
I was like, the melanin, no.
Because I'm pretty
The-
sure most people thought about that. Like, are they gonna bring back dark skin Aunt Viv or light skin Aunt Viv or whatever? But I think that they did amazing by choosing her.
exactly. It just from the beginning, I'm thinking like she's like so. The first two people we talked about, I'm like, okay, they're knocking it out the park. So I'm like, who? I'm looking at who's cast as this, who's next.
Right, right.
So we see Uncle Phil.
Yes.
Trying to see his name on here. Adrian Holmes. Had you seen him in anything?
Yes, I've seen him on. I can't remember the movies that I've seen him on, but I definitely have seen him on things.
I had never
I'm trying to remember,
seen him on anything.
but he has been on.
Oh, it says he was on Smallville, True Justice. Uh,
Oh, he's Canadian.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I probably did see him and stuff, but I didn't remember because all these shows I've seen a bunch
Yeah.
of these shows, so
And
I
they
didn't.
say he's also in Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. I don't know if
Oh,
that's a
that's a new one.
really?
Yeah, that's a new Star Trek. I actually want to
Oh
watch that.
shoot, that's amazing.
He was on Arrow. I did see him. I
I'm
remember
trying to
now.
remember. Two for the money. Two for the money. Is that where I'm remembering him from? Frankie and Alice. Yes, that. I remember him that. Red Riding Hood. I think I did see that. I don't remember him on that though. The Cabin in the Woods. I think I saw him on that as well. Christmas Horror Story. He was on a lot of stuff, actually. A little bit of things. A lot of TV shows.
right? So he been in he's seasoned, you could tell.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell. What were your thoughts when you first saw him?
I liked I was like, okay, dark skinned Uncle Phil. And like
Right?
they're going with the different like personality. So this is a switch up for from the personality that the first Uncle Phil had. Like, yeah, Uncle Phil was about his business and he was a man that you didn't want to cross. But this Uncle Phil, you really don't want to cross him.
At all. He is
Like,
not a joke. He is not a
like
joke.
you really don't want to cross him because he really about that life. And for some people, that may have been a deal breaker that his personality was so different, but it made sense to me. He works he works for the government.
Right.
He's going for a district attorney, right?
Right,
He's
yeah.
a lawyer. He's a judge.
But no,
He's a lawyer on here, right?
he's a lawyer on here.
Okay, yeah, he's a
He's a
lawyer.
part of a law firm, but he wants to run for district. He's running for district attorney.
District attorney, right. So he's a lawyer on here. So lawyers sometimes they do certain things to get what they want. And and I really can't talk about him a lot without mentioning Jeffrey, like the guy they got to play Jeffrey.
Yeah, that connection
Um
is so good.
the relationship between the two of them, and then Jeffrey being like but he's not like Butler, but he's the butler. You know what I mean?
Jeffrey's the fixer.
Fixer. He's a
Yeah.
fixer. The dude from off of Dynasty, the butler from off of Dynasty.
I've never seen
Like
that.
you should watch it. It's a Netflix original if I'm not mistaken. But I love their relationship and Jeffrey is fine. Like whole time I'm looking at him like he is so fine. Like just the swag. They got a black man that was actually from was he from England?
I think his accent
The
kind of reminds me
accent,
of
but also
Jamaican a little bit.
that's what I'm about to say. But also, it does give me Jamaican, but
Like patois a little bit, but it's British at the same time. It's
at, and it's so sexy to me. And I'm like Jeffrey, like Uncle Phil is fine too, but Jeffrey stole my heart on this show. To me, he's the eye candy. But their relationship, um, and not necessarily him being like a do boy, but like him just making sure he protecting the family.
exactly.
He making sure he makes sure nothing don't touch them or whatever. He does what he thinks is best for the family. Also carries out orders that Uncle Phil gives him. But not only does he do that, he makes decisions that he thinks is best for the family, despite what Uncle Phil may say sometimes. And to me,
Exactly.
that shows how good of friends they are.
And
Like
that
it shows the bond that they got.
and that gives him so much more depth than the original Jeffrey. Because the original
Right,
Jeffrey, we didn't get anything else about him until like the third or fourth season in the original, where oh he worked for royalty before and stuff like that.
right.
Now this is already he's an interesting character. He's gonna do what's right no matter
Then
what.
Jeffrey had a child, right?
I think so in the
A
original.
daughter or something like that.
Was it a daughter?
I know he had a child. I think so.
I remember
And
the
then
storyline vaguely from the
me
original.
too. And then this Jeffrey having a child
A
because Uncle
son,
Phil
yeah,
mentions it
yeah,
or whatever. And even that when he mentions it, like you see there's another layer. So further
exactly.
down we might get to see some more. So there's another layer that it makes you interested. Like, oh, he has a family that he
Yeah,
left to, come and work for his friend. Cause they brothers to me.
yeah. The depth of those two characters. You're right. We can't like talk about one and not the other because
Right.
they're so connected. Okay, so I want to give my first thoughts on when I first saw him. So when he first walk came out, I'm like, okay, dark skin Uncle Phil. People were kind of mad like that. The original one was fat and
Right.
he was light skinned. I'm like, do you really want to see somebody try to do a James Avery impression? At this point, he's no longer here, so it'd be kind of disrespectful.
It is, and that man is like special. I
You
just don't feel like nobody could touch that.
Nobody could touch that. Nobody could be him.
Nobody.
So don't be him. Be an uncle, and you can take certain things from him. The fact
Right.
that he's debonair, he dresses well, he
Right.
he's well spoken, you know.
Right.
But when it
Ex
broke down and started, when he went to his office and that poster, I was like, he's a hip hop fan. Like he loves
Yeah, he
hip
loves hip
hop, hip
hop.
hop. I was like,
Yeah.
De La Soul. I was like, I look at the people.
Oh, you was looking at everything.
I was like, this is dope. I'm like, okay, this brings so much more depth to his character.
It does.
And then seeing how he interacts with Jeffrey, like Jeffrey is perfect. Like
Perfect.
perfect. I don't want to see, because to me in today's day and age, we do not need to see another subservient black man.
'Cause he was very Du Bois-ish. I didn't
Yeah.
like it.
No, no, I don't want to see that.
Right.
But in real life, what do you need somebody like that for? You need somebody to go do the stuff that you can't do.
You need a hood nigga that just look good in a
Exactly.
suit.
When he when they kind of hinted at that he took care of the bully, Will's bully, I was like, okay,
Oh,
nothing
he a
open.
hood. Oh, he a nigga. He a hood
He made the call. It's just like it's done. All right.
I'm like, okay, I like this
Oh yeah, I
Jeffrey.
like this Jeffrey. He with it. Do not play with Jeffrey.
Exactly.
And the fact that he's on top of everything, like
And
all the
also the fact that he does things for Uncle Phil, but don't get it twisted. Uncle Phil ain't gonna he ain't no stranger to getting his hands dirty either.
exactly. Basically, telling
Like,
him not don't. I'll take care of it, so you don't have to.
right.
You don't have to dirty your hands with this. I got it. I've
Exactly.
seen where you come from now, and I see where you going.
Exactly.
And that storyline up to the end when he brought Will's father like for him, and the anger between them, because it was just like it felt like a betrayal of a friendship.
Yeah, it
It was
did.
like, but also that was building his character. Like I don't have to listen to you
Exactly.
like that. I'm gonna do what's right, and this is the right thing to do.
And the fact that Jeffrey has that relationship with Uncle Phil, but he also has a personal relationship with the kids. And if they needed him to do something that they didn't want their parents to know, he gonna handle that too. And he gonna make
Exactly.
sure they good. And I
Yes.
love that about him. But I felt like the Jeffrey from Fresh Prince of Bel Air was only taking orders from Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv.
Pretty much. Do this.
But
Do this. Do this.
right, but this Jeffrey, he cares about the whole family, and he gonna do
Definitely.
what's best for them.
Yeah, layered character. I did like the storyline, the fact that he was running for DA, only because I like the fact that the reason he chose to stop was for Will. So that's a immediate connection right there. Like,
Same,
okay, he supports family more than anything.
right?
Because right there, he could have broke and been like,
Which real nigga, he was a
yeah,
real
he
nigga.
real nigga. And it'll make it more sense. 'Cause I hope they do the judge storyline with him. I hope that he
I hope he eventually, yeah. How long do you think? How you think this is going to be like a long series?
yes.
I think that it like just from even the first episode, I'm like they could do so much with
Exactly. This
this.
could be like 10 seasons worth of story.
Yes,
Easily.
I easily. Like
Yeah.
I was like, just like I said, just off the first episode, I'm like, oh, this can be good for a while.
So I think like that's a storyline that they don't have to bring that up now. Like let him be building himself up for a couple seasons. And then
Exactly.
all of a sudden in the fifth season, he decides I'm gonna run for judge. I'm gonna do this.
Exactly.
And
And then,
now
like you said, the thing about him deciding to quit for Will,
exactly.
showing a black man putting his family before his career, which is something we have never seen before on TV. We know this happens in real life,
Right.
but we don't see it. So a lot of times when we talk about it, we don't mention it. But the fact that they showed that he was a family man first is important.
Very much so. And
I, I feel like they definitely took their time with this.
definitely, it's a lot of thought that goes into it because there's little nuances that I catch every time I watch too. Even in the new
Right,
season, once you catch up on the new season, it's little stuff like okay, they're revisiting this storyline and
right,
adding more to it. Okay, because I'm
right,
already interested in stuff, but they can't do everything in the first season.
right,
But
right.
okay, they visit just enough. So great casting so far. So, like,
Amazing.
amazing. The melanin, I'm blown away.
Me
So
too. You this and also that's a risk. Because even though a lot of black people like to say we need more black people on TV, a lot of black people ain't gonna support it either. A lot of the times, but the fact
exactly.
that they chose the family, the main family, the main characters, most of them are dark skinned, not just black, but dark
Dark
skinned.
skin, yes.
And I'm talking about dark skinned, like
I'm loving it. So the family came comes out, and I think I want to go into Carlton next.
Carlton.
His real name is Ali
Ali
Sholatin.
Sholatin.
Yeah.
Sholatin.
I first saw him too. I'm like, okay, they going black for real.
Black. Like his skin is so beautiful. I'm like, his skin is so pretty.
And to see him already, like, okay, this is immediate antagonist.
He got on my
For
nerve immediately.
immediately, I'm just like,
Immediately.
this preppy nigga, what's wrong? What's wrong with you?
Same. Like, nigga,
Oh,
what you think you is?
but they added a lot more depth as it went on. Because at first it's
Right.
just like, okay, he's just a rich boy who don't know what's good. Oh,
Yeah.
he a rich crackhead. I really don't like.
And it showed you that not all crackheads look how we think that they look.
Exactly, because as soon as they went into his little closet, he's sitting there,
I'm like, oh, they coming out the gate.
like, for real. But this is not Fresh Prince.
But it's also real.
Very much so.
Very, especially for where they live. I'm not saying, it's not saying only there, but you know what I mean. This is real.
It's the difference between a hood person, because a hood person most likely you can't afford no dope like that. So what are you gonna do in the hood? You're gonna smoke weed. The first thing you're gonna do is if you go into the hood version of that, they're gonna be rolling a pot. You know,
You're right.
now this is they rich, they got money, so he got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
So the question
Which
I had
also like changes the like perfect good boy, goody two shoe look for
exactly,
Carlton.
he didn't have any real challenges back then,
Right.
which was like no depth to that character at all. He's just
Right.
the bougie cousin.
Yeah. Annoying bougie cousin.
Exactly. Now he's not just annoying. I don't like this
Really
nigga.
don't like this nigga. Don't like him because I did not like him.
So the question I had to ask you. So you said that you didn't like him at first, and you said you don't think you will feel for him.
Mm.
After the season's over, do you feel for him now? The storyline how it unfolded.
Feel for him when it came to the anxiety thing and like because of course we've experienced it.
Right.
But do I like him? No, but I did feel for him a little bit. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it was just like
I get it.
it was like kind of like I understand now.
Yeah, I understand
You're
you.
not just doing drugs because you're a rich kid. You got anxiety, which is a
Yeah.
real thing. This
Which is
is
something his family knows, but like they kind of like gloss over it a lot.
yeah,
There's not a whole lot of how you doing, like you good. Though you see that from Will,
exactly.
which adds another layer to Will's character.
Because he really cares about his cousin
Right.
and really
Even though
has
Carlton gave him a hard time in the beginning.
for real pushing him in the pool and everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
come
He was
on,
doing too
fam.
much. And that's why forever not like him, even though I feel for him because he was performing for them white people. I did not like him.
Uh, when they walked into the locker
I'm
room and they
like,
were singing nothing
I
but a
like,
hot nigga.
I'm like, this is a coon. This is what you call a coon.
Exactly, like you cooning it up right now, bro. Like
Coon.
for real, like
Like there was no hesitation in his like body.
I'm
Like
sorry,
this
I
nigga got
can't,
the nerve.
especially with white people that like I'm gonna be shook. Like I'm gonna look
Cause,
at you like
'Cause usually like when it's a character like that, they're pretending like I ain't saying nothing because this is the only way they'll accept me. I
right,
feel like it was a little bit of that, but it was more so he just didn't see a problem with it. He
exactly.
really didn't see a problem with it. He
But
was ignorant.
there's a lot of people in that mindset because as hood as his mom was in Philly and everything, they took them out of that situation, so he didn't have
Right.
to deal with something like that. So
Right.
that was real life to him. All he knew was the white people, and it's just a song
Exactly.
at a
To
certain point.
him, yeah.
And there's a lot of white people that are like that. Well, they grew up around black people, and they think that they can say that stuff, but they get into the real world and just like the girl that Kendrick Lamar put up on stage,
Yeah.
and he was like, no, no, don't say that. Like
Right.
you gotta check somebody, but if nobody checks you, you think it's okay.
'Cause they think it was okay, just like Carlton, he thought that was cool when Will was saying something about it, he like, "I don't get it, like, you can say it, why can't they say it?" I'm like, "He real life don't get it." Like,
You
he
don't
don't
get
get
it
it.
at all. At all. I'm like, that's just it pissed me off and it made me not like him even more. So
Me
like
too.
first half of the first season, like he is definitely the villain, the antagonist completely. Like,
I
why you doing
mean,
too much, bro? Like, you doing too much.
that's why I say he was the definition of a coon because, like I said, some people in that scene, some black people in that scene, like, "I'm only doing this to get by." Nah, he was
Exactly.
thoroughly
Just dancing
enjoying
until
himself.
Will said something. What's wrong,
Yeah.
man? What's going
He
on?
still hasn't even really thought about it, like, I get it. He never got to that point. It was just, I'm sure, like, whatever.
The second season, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but it's gonna deal more with him realizing his blackness. And it does make a lot of sense because there's different levels to being black. You know, like being black
Yeah,
is not just growing up in the hood or growing up poor. There's a lot of people that are black that grow up with money and everything, but you still have to learn the shared experience that we all have. We're still black.
yeah,
You know, when I don't care how much money you got.
yeah.
What did Jay-Z say in that song? I'm not
Which
black, I'm
one?
OJ. Okay. Like you still black when it comes down to it.
Exactly.
It don't matter how much white people love you and all of that. You get pulled over by the police, you black.
You black.
They don't care about none of that, none of the extra stuff. So uh fantastic casting
Amazing.
for him.
Also, Hillary,
I was just
she,
about to go to her, Coco
yeah.
Jones, yeah. But you could talk about her first, because
I
I
feel
don't
like seeing Coco Jones in like a role like this where she's playing like the preppy, like fashion forward or whatever. Now, Coco Jones has never been like, I'm not gonna say black. She's never played a character where it's like, I guess for lack of a better word, ratchet. If you know understand what I'm saying, like she always is like that black girl that is cool. She likes everything. She likes she doesn't fit in a box basically.
exactly.
Um, so to see her play a character like Hillary who fits in a box, who is like fashion is important to her, cooking, and having that to
Exactly.
be the thing that Hillary loved, to me was amazing because I'm like, oh, this is different. Like she doesn't just care about shopping, and Hillary wanted to be like a journalist, right? Like a
Eventually, but at first she didn't have no depth to her character at all. She just wanted to
yeah.
go spend daddy money.
Shopping, yeah, shopping and stuff like that. But to see her be passionate about something right away and it to be something that didn't fit the idea that her mom had for her, um, it was amazing. It was much needed. I'll say that. It kind of like also brought the conversation to how the older generation doesn't understand social media and how it
At
could be a
all.
job and they don't respect it as a job, as a career when it actually is.
Very much
And
so
I feel like
now.
that was an important conversation to see her and her mom, that link the the I guess the catalyst for that conversation
Yes.
was much needed because that's something that is needed to be shown. But I liked to see that cooking was her passion.
Yes.
And she still looked good. She still like to spend mom and daddy's money, but at the same
Right.
time, she's trying to find herself and she has this thing that she loves. So she's not completely lost. And that too, her having every single thing that she need, access to everything, and still not exactly knowing what she wanted to do,
Exactly.
it's also something that I felt like was important.
I when I first saw her, I was like, I had never seen Coco Jones before.
I love Coco
But
Jones.
now I found out that she's just multi-talented and everything. I saw her on the Terrell show after that, after the season, and I'm like, okay, she could sing. She okay,
Yes.
she multi-talented. She's great. So
Right.
the first thing I'm thinking, okay, she's dark skinned. My immediate thought was, please don't make her ditzy
Right.
because the original Hillary was kind of like the dumb character. You know,
Yeah.
she's not that smart. She don't know what she's doing.
It wouldn't
Type
have
of
worked for that for this
no,
character.
I do not. Especially, I don't want to see a dark skinned black woman portrayed that way. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm just that's one of my preferences. Like, don't do it. So I'm like, okay, how are they gonna do it? Immediate depth. When you see her in the kitchen cooking and she likes this, and it's still, she's still prissy a little bit. The fact she's
Yeah.
into fashion, like you said, and
Mhm.
the social media thing, which is big in today's society. Like literal careers are made. Keith Lee is a big example.
Right.
This man's set.
Right.
This he's got a connection with people, and that's something that a lot of companies uh don't take account for now. We are our own
Right.
brands now, so she's trying to build her brand but still not having it all figured out. And
Right.
it's just like it's a real storyline. Like just because she's rich, just because her parents are rich, she don't want to live off of their money like that. And the fact that she made a decision right there not to take their money like that, I was just like,
And still,
go
like,
ahead.
even going into, like, her be getting the opportunity that she wanted and it not working out, and I like that too. Is not it shows that it's not immediately going to work out for her just because she has rich parents. That don't mean that things she gonna get it as soon as she get an opportunity and she's set. It didn't work out, but at the same time, she didn't want to run to her parents for help.
Exactly.
And also her mom having that conversation with her and being like, "You should wanna save yourself." Right?
Exactly.
Don't let I love you love your daddy, and I love the relationship that y'all have, but you should wanna save yourself. And she deciding, "Okay, Imma do that. Imma save myself." Um, and just also I wouldn't say role model that she is to her siblings, but at the same time, yeah, like she's like the person that they go to talk to about things and stuff like that. Um, and her just being giving them the space to be open
Exactly. She's a
and
big
not
big sister, the big cousin too, like,
right, right.
and I
She's playing
loved
that
it.
role of the big sister. I don't think the original Hillary did that.
Not at all.
Like she just
Her
was
like I said, her role was just the ditzy light-skinned girl who wanted her parents' money
right,
until she finally had the storyline with her having the news and stuff like that, which is
right.
these are sitcom characters compared to a drama things because in a sitcom that kind of stuff is okay. You know,
It
you
wouldn't have
don't
worked on this.
it would not have worked at all. She has a lot of depth. My favorite part about her is the fact that she kept her integrity when it came to them trying to force her to put out those videos of her cooking
Mhm.
in her lingerie or whatever. And she's finally, this is not me.
Right.
This is
And
not me.
also Jazz's character, like reminding her, like telling her, like wasn't afraid to tell her, like, I don't know, but like that's not really you. Why you doing it?
Right. I gotta ask, what did you think of Jazz's character and the fact that they were hooking up? Because in the original, she didn't give him no play.
She was
No,
curving him.
yeah.
Curve. Immediately, like they connected immediately. I like it because um it's more realistic to me than her curving. Like even though he doesn't have the money, he's not like super rich like she is or whatever. She gave him a chance, and I think that shows also the type of person she was. Even though she comes from that type of family, she wasn't judgmental and she wasn't just all about this look. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So like her being open to date his character, I think it was necessary for it to be that way instead of her curving him. And I also didn't want to see thirsty Jazz. Like I didn't want to see thirsty
Exactly.
Jazz. I didn't want to see Jazz chasing behind Hillary and also being Will's like just ride his coattail, just following him everywhere
It's
he went.
his errand boy basically or
Yeah,
whatever. Like,
like I
no.
didn't want to see that either. I like the fact that Jazz is Will's friend, but they're not always together. So they have their individuals, they have their individuality, but also he is like becoming family. Like at first, him and Uncle Phil had that thing where it was get out my house, always kicking him out and stuff like
Right,
that.
right, right.
I like that he is getting close to the family as well, not just Will or not just him having sex with
Exactly.
Hillary.
There's so much depth to his character too. The fact
Exactly.
that he's a record store owner. He's into music, and that's another person too that captured the original jazz's kind of tone
Personality.
of voice and everything. Because original jazz in real life, he's a DJ.
Yeah.
DJ Jazzy Jeff is a DJ.
Right.
So the fact that you're at a record store, come on now.
Amazing.
That's for
Amazing.
us fans that know about that stuff. Like, we know that okay, this is depth right here. And then he's a handsome man, so it makes sense that Hillary will be into him. So like, okay, he pursuing her a little bit, but it's like he not extra out with it. Okay.
Right, he ain't
Oh,
thirsty.
right. And when she finally did give him play, it was like, okay, this makes sense. Like he
And then
already dropped it,
also that
but
moment where she introduced his character to Karuchi's character, and it was like a little flirtatious, and she was
yeah.
like what is happening? I like that part
Ooh,
too.
so I want to say something about the next season. You got to see something gonna happen with that.
Okay.
Something gonna happen with that.
I mean, I kind of have a feeling, but
But I love the fact that they first off the bat, I love that. Like
same.
that is just like these characters have so much depth already.
And I liked it because it was just because on Fresh Prince, it was just Will show. It was
Exactly.
really just his show, and then he just had supporting characters or whatever that he bounced off of. But these people have individual lives, and like you said, they have so much depth to their character. It's not just about Will. Like their world does not revolve around him.
Exactly. They already had their own stuff going on. And they
Exactly.
give them ample screen time too. It's enough for Will that he gets a lot of screen time too, but all the other storylines are getting a lot of screen time.
Exactly.
Like this is okay, this is how you develop a
That's
character.
exactly. That's
Which
how you do
which
a show.
which is why the drama format is better because you can't fit everything into 30 minutes. You need these
Okay.
like 45 minutes to an hour shows to develop all of this. And that's something that sitcom could never do.
Right. The fact
Sitcoms
that they came up with this app just off of a fan video
right.
is amazing.
Right. Right.
Amazing, bro.
It it is amazing. I think I want to go from so we talked about Hillary and Jazz's characters. I want to go into Ashley, which is another pivotal character that I want to talk about. What was your thoughts about her?
I really liked Ashley. I like the fact that they still got like a younger girl or whatever because it gives the little cousin feel.
Exactly.
Um for Will, but I like that Ashley is progressive. She wants to fight for LGBT rights. She wants to fight for
Yes.
climate change and all of these things. Like I love that about her. And also her being what I think bisexual.
I
She
don't know if they
doesn't
officially
label
said
herself.
it. It
Yeah,
says he don't
she
have a
doesn't
label yet.
label herself, right, but she isn't heterosexual basically. And I like that at her age she's uh she realizes it, and not only that but she's able to articulate it. She's able to like express herself when it comes to like she hasn't gotten to the point where she can talk to her parents about it,
Not
but at the
yet.
same time the fact right but at the same time that the fact that that is something that she has to deal with, and seeing her navigate dating at her age and stuff,
Yes.
and like them not like helicopter over her like how they were in the sitcom. Like they give her the freedom to do that.
I love the fact that Hillary was the one to find out first that she's still like figuring herself out because she was like, oh, well, maybe some boy at school, and she looked at girl,
Right.
just like, and that's a real good reaction to something like that because there's been so many
It's
negative,
usually like,
uh,
what?
really like. It was just like she was. I'm with it. That's what you doing. The fact that
Right.
she's so progressive and a rebel, like I
I
love it.
love it.
I
Love
love
it.
it. Like she a little
That was the
activist.
she a little me when I was a kid.
That's awesome. It's a gives her so much more depth. So she's not just a little girl. She's a
Right.
girl that has something going on for herself, and she's gonna be something different too. I want to see her grow up on the show.
Me
Like
too. And not
so
following behind Will like Ashley from the sitcom.
exactly. That's why I love the fact that it was Hillary that found out because you get
Right.
the sister relationship, which is
Right.
important that we never really
Important.
saw in the original.
Important.
Right? Like these are siblings. Like how did
They
you
had no
interact?
connection at all in the sitcom.
Nothing. I cannot remember any real storylines. It was Will and Carlton, Will and
But
Hillary, Will and
always
Ashley.
Will.
Will
That's why I say I'm so happy that they're not like just an extension of Will. Like they integrate him into their lives, but not too much. Like he
exactly.
was in the sitcoms, it was just them, like him being the center of everything. Like it was always about him. They would have an issue, but then they would make it about Will.
Exactly. There was very few storylines where it wasn't about Will. And
Right.
even if the storyline wasn't about Will, Will was somehow involved in the story.
Involved somehow. Like they made sure he was on screen 24/7.
And as great as the series was, you can't explore these kind of
Right.
serious things that and that's a sitcom. Like these are situational comedies. It's supposed to be funny. Okay,
Right.
they're gonna get heavy for a second, and then let's kind of ease back into the funny. Like
Right.
like that's all sitcoms are for. 30 minutes, make you laugh, not really make you think about nothing.
Yeah, it's
You know,
lighthearted, very
yeah,
lighthearted.
and it did a great job for what it was. But these characters had so much more that they could have been, and now we're seeing it like play out. Like
Right.
I'm loving it.
I ain't
Ashley,
even looking at my notes.
right,
Like
right, because we already know Ashley is probably my second favorite character.
my favorite character. Jeffrey is my favorite character.
I think he might be my favorite too.
And I think who do I like seeing? The girl, the Will's girlfriend, Lisa.
Yes, we can talk about her
Like
now
her.
too. So Lisa was not introduced in the original series until like the second to last season or something like that.
Mhm.
Was no, like it was she was introduced earlier, but it
It's
wasn't
like,
taken as seriously. Like it
yeah.
wasn't like she was a real viable girlfriend for
And
him.
I was actually really shocked that they picked her for
Yes,
this because it wasn't taken that seriously.
right. But immediately she likes they
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 connect.
like each other,
Mm,
and then the storyline that she dated Carlton before. I'm like
right. I like it because it's messy, but she's not messy.
at all.
So it makes it hard for you to dislike her because
Exactly.
it's like she's not interested in Will because or to be petty or like to rub it in Carlton's face. She doesn't want to hurt Carlton. She doesn't she's careful about how she goes about her relationship with Will.
Right.
She and I like the reason why I really like her is because she challenges both of them. She's still friends with Carlton, but she's dating Will and she challenges both of them.
Yes.
And like how Aunt Viv loves her. And she's just a
Yes.
lovable character. I just like the way that, and then plus the fact that her mom died, and her dad is married to this woman that she doesn't like.
At all. Ooh, I like
Um,
that storyline a lot.
exactly. That's why I really like her character. Like
Yeah.
she interesting to me.
Yeah, because it could have been easily like drama. Oh, she saw the new cousin and she was just on him. Like it was not
Yeah.
like that. Will was
At
on
all.
her. Will was on her, but it was
And
just
and
I
she
go
had
ahead.
to like get to know him a little bit, like before she was like, okay, I like you.
I think that was probably one of my favorite storylines because I'm like, okay, they're gonna introduce Lisa early. I'm like, dang, don't let her be a one and done.
Right.
Don't let her just they're gonna introduce Lisa because eventually you know the storyline. If they're gonna follow the storyline, he's gonna marry her. Or
Right.
whatever. So I hope they get like that. I hope they eventually get there. But the fact that there's it's drama in it, like they love each other, but
But yeah, it's not easy. It's
exactly,
not easy, but it's not too hard.
exactly. And the fact that her dad is a cop, and
Yeah.
I like that, and Will. not telling everybody about himself.
which was important. Her dad is a cop. He committed a crime that was covered up. And
Exactly.
then plus her dad is Uncle Phil's competition. And they were friends. It's a lot. It's a lot that
He's
goes into her character.
another he's a great person to be a villain. The dad,
Yeah, he
like
is.
he's great antagonist. He's also an antagonist on All American Homecoming, which
I
as much
still gotta watch that. I haven't watched it.
it's a lot of bad writing in that show.
Oh, well, never mind then.
It's a lot of bad writing. So like there's this
Really?
yeah. I it's funny because I was like I used to download them like from other sites and I would put them on YouTube and I would name them one. And my wife had saw it and she was like, "Why'd you name it that?" I was like, I said black soap opera.
Maybe I should watch it because it's bad.
it
You gotta watch
it
some bad stuff.
it's some stuff that it's entertaining, but at the same time, there's storylines in the regular All American Homecoming where it's just like you built, especially for it to be a drama, like we're talking about these storylines, like there's certain things that should happen. Like,
Right.
especially once you give a character arc, like they spend a whole season giving the person a character arc of being a coach and everything like that. And then the next season he's debating quitting. And I'm just like, no, like you made the decision, went through all that's not do not revisit this thing. No. So it's like that, but he's a villain in that show too. So he's like basically a bad dad, basically in the other
Oh,
show. So like
got you.
it's funny to me because they both came out around a similar time. So I don't think it was difficult for him to change into a different character. Like he was already
He's
just
already playing it.
he basically gonna be an asshole here and there.
Right. I'm interested in seeing how him and Uncle Phil's relationship develops.
Me too.
If it
Me too.
does.
I don't know if it will though. I think I want them to see kind of them go at it, but then I kind of want to see them reconcile a little bit, like where they have to work together for something.
Same.
So uh I'm trying to think of any other characters that we didn't touch on. And we talked about oh the light skinned Aunt Viv. They brought her in.
Oh yeah, they did. And Vi,
Yeah,
Will's mom off of Fresh Prince.
yeah. I love that. I was
Me
like, okay,
too.
that's a great callback. Because I wanted to see them in there, but I wanted them more in like a cameo role. Like you know who they
Right.
are, but okay, their plot devices to push the story forward. Okay,
Right.
like who's
I
gonna
like
play the
I like the roles they played too. They were um was it the councils? What
yeah,
was the
the
thing? The fellowship
yeah,
she
for
was
the
supposed to
fellowship,
get?
for the art
Yeah,
fellowship she's supposed to get. So they
right.
were over that to make sure that she got it. So I'm like,
I like that they interacted with her basically
very
with
well.
Aunt Viv.
Right? Like
I
this is the
liked
new,
it.
it's kind of like a passing of the torch kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really, really, really hope they get the original on there. Like
I
the
hope so
original
too.
that
Maybe
she has
like
to
her mom.
right. That'd
That
be
would be cool.
perfect.
That
That'd
would
be
be cool.
perfect. Especially now that her and Will have reconciled after
Right.
all of these
Hold
years.
up. Their mom died, so they can't do that.
She could be
Yeah.
something in there though. She could do something.
Yeah.
Like some kind of role where it was just like unexpected. Okay,
Yeah.
uh we gotta talk about Marlon
Oh yeah.
being
The
the dad.
dad. Him being the dad. Perfect choice for
Were
the
you
dad.
shocked when you saw him walking on screen?
Yes. I did
I
not
thought
expect it.
I swear to God, I'm like Will Smith gonna be the dad.
That's who you thought that was
I
gonna be?
thought
I
Will at
didn't think
first.
it was gonna be Will, but I was shocked that it was Marlon. I was
I,
shocked that it was another comedian, basically.
right, right. The fact that he stepped on and you immediately know who he is,
Yeah. But
but then
you forget who he is.
within the first couple minutes, because his voice is
And I
different.
love Marlon.
Me too.
I love him.
But I knew that he was trying to get different roles like that. He's the one in the family that takes acting the most serious.
Yes.
He's been wanting to do this for a long time. That's why that was part of the storyline in the Wayans Brothers show.
Right.
Because he's been wanting to do real acting. You know, he didn't want to be just seen as just a
It's a
comedian.
comedian, yeah.
So
Mm.
he came there and blew it out the
Blew it
water.
out of water.
I
It
was
was
just
especially, like, when they was having that argument, I was like, "Bro, like, he's killing
I'm
this."
just like, boy, I'm just like, ooh. I
He
got so
killed
upset
it.
with people online though, just like I just cannot take this seriously because this is Marlon. I wanted him to do
But
something
he wasn't
stupid
funny.
at
And I hate when
all.
people do that, like, I can't take them seriously because he's a comedian. Cause they do DC like that a lot. And he is so talented, can act. He can do anything that you put in front of him. But they always want him like it's kind of like treating people like they're in the zoo. You're a
Exactly.
monkey, swing from the tree, do this,
Yeah,
do that. It's like
exactly. Do what I want you to do.
it's
I'm used
weird.
to seeing you like this. It's the only thing I'm gonna take you serious as.
Mhm.
Now I understand there's some comedians that can't make that transition.
They cannot. Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
like I can't take you seriously in this. But he obviously his whole voice was different. Come on,
He
man.
was
Like
different.
that was
He
not
was
Marlon's voice, the deepness of it. He's just yeah, sir.
he was amazing.
I'm just like, man, this is somebody else. And the fact that he was an asshole still, you know,
Still.
because you didn't know, like, okay, dude, should we feel for him?
Right.
Is there a reason why he left Will? And then the fact that
And I like that they made it the thing, like in the show that the secret.
right,
So we're like, what happened? Like, why they don't want to? When it was like, if we tell him about his dad, he's gonna hate us. And I'm like, why? Like, what did y'all do to his dad? Y'all killed the man? Like, I'm trying to
right,
figure out what
right, right,
happened.
right.
Then his dad finally shows
That
up.
that's suspense, and then you find out that they were
And
right.
right,
They were right. Like he was an asshole.
terrible person.
Like
Dad is terrible.
get the hell out of here. I hope they bring him
When
back.
he was talking to his about he knows
Exactly.
her. He knows this woman. This woman is not the person that she was to you is not the person she is to him. So why would you
Exactly.
do that?
I I feel like his character was
But it
oh well, you already mad at them. They kept me from you, so you already gonna go to
right.
the trigger word. Well, your mama did. Nah, man, she the one that
The worst
raised me.
the worst mistake I ever made in my life was your mama.
Trigger right there. I'm just
Why
like
would you say that to that boy? That's who raised him. He loves his mom.
I don't think they
She
could
can
have
do
done it.
no wrong in his eyes, and then you say that about her.
I I'm happy they did that, and the immediate recognizability of Marlon is a great thing for me because I immediately recognized Marlon, but then I was like, I'm not thinking Marlon. Like 5 minutes
Exactly.
later, I'm not thinking when they sit down and having
Exactly.
that talk, I'm like, this is his daddy, and this
Lou,
is
this Lou.
yeah, this Lou. This scene is intense. I'm
It
like,
was
and they
the
about to
fact
fight.
that I love that Will is very disrespectful. I
Exactly,
love it. Like he just be cursing and stuff. I like it because it shows that Philly in him or
exactly.
whatever. Like this is how he talk around his mom. Like to us, that's disrespectful, but that's how he talked to his
There's a
family.
scene in the new part where he I'm not it's not spoiling nothing for me to say it, but he was just like, I'm glad you dated that nut ass relationship. And I immediately stopped and said, that's the most Philly thing that you could say. That nut ass relationship, that is something that they say. I was just like, I was just like, that's how you know somebody from there for
Like,
real.
I love it because it brings the and you remember, oh, this nigga is from Philly because of
Exactly.
how he talk or whatever.
And there was
Um,
never really a callback to him really being from Philly in the real show.
right.
He kind
Kind
of
of forgot about it. It
pretty
was like,
much after other than that one storyline when his friend came, like
yeah,
that was it. But it didn't feel like he was really from. He didn't talk about Philly like that. He
right.
didn't really like unless when they went there it was like that. But it was just like, but
Yeah.
he let you know I'm from
It's,
Philly.
it's kind of like my story. The characters from Chicago, and I know nothing about Chicago, so it ain't about Chicago.
I think
I,
they just
I
wanted
do not care.
Harry
When
to
it
do
comes to the movies, I get it right though.
right.
We gonna get it right on screen. The book,
You
I don't care.
definitely got to like because people from areas like there's
Nah,
been certain
especially areas like that. Yeah,
there's certain shows where I hear people talking like they from LA, and I'm immediately gonna know. No, you're not.
right.
That's
And
not.
this accent I got, we ain't had a show yet, and I just want I'm going to be the first one. But this accent too that I got, you gonna know if the person really, really from South Carolina or not, or if they Geechee or not, because it's people is Geechee people and it is non-Geechee people. We don't even care about everybody else's accent.
right?
This is the accent of South Carolina.
And the fact that there's so many places like that where the accent is so like you could just tell, and it's not just
Yeah,
accent, it's the words that you say,
the
it's
words,
how
yeah.
you say it. It's like
Right.
we know these things for these areas, and people that's from Philly gonna know that okay immediately. And the
Yeah.
villain that they had, the bully, I wanted to bring him up too. He's a battle rapper. Uh,
I thought that the boy was familiar.
his
What's his
name is
name?
Easy the Block Captain. He's a battle rapper. That's his stage
He
name. I don't
looked
know.
familiar to me.
He just had a recent battle with Hitman Holla like
I knew I
last
saw him
month.
from somewhere, and I think I saw the what do you call it, promotion for
The
that battle.
promotion, yeah, he probably did.
And
It
I'm
was
like,
everywhere.
bro, he looked familiar. Who is that? But I couldn't remember. And I'm
As
thinking,
soon
is he a rapper?
as soon as I saw him, I'm like, yes, this is a big look for battle rap as a whole because a lot of
Yeah,
battle rappers don't get that look. And I'm like, okay. And now he's like probably one of the top people in the sport right
that's
now.
dope. That's
And
dope.
he killed it. And he's from Philly, so that his talking everything, he was talking like himself. That's
Yeah,
how he
and
talked.
he was a bully. The nigga fought. The nigga was going. He was out for. He was like, "You ain't getting away from me. You think that's far for you to be that petty, bro?
Exactly.
You had to take a flight to be petty."
I love the fact that they left it ambiguous because they said that he might have died, but I'm like,
Yeah, but he might come back.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that as
Every time
well.
I tell people that every time you see on a TV show and you don't see the person die, there's an open possibility that they
Exactly.
can come back. So at least
Also, the friend Trey. What did you think
yes,
about him?
I like the storyline and I hope that they bring him back too.
I hope they bring him back too, but he reminded me of so it was okay, so this is to me why it was important because the situation Will leaving Philly because he had to, right? But then he gets there and he sees the possibilities that he can have if he stays. So now it's like, even though I can't wait to go back home at first, I can't wait to go back home. Plus, excuse me, he had a hard time fitting in at first. So he didn't really care about staying. So, this is just a vacation for him. And then he starts liking it. He starts liking being around his family and stuff like that. Then his friend Trey
Right?
comes to remind him, and he's like, you know, this is cool. This cool and everything. But when you coming back? Like when you coming back
Exactly.
to Philly, like this cute. Like this little mansion is cute. When you coming back, and that's all he knew. And Will kind of like having that battle of am I am I not being true to myself if I stay here? And Trey representing his old self and his family representing the
His yeah,
possibilities of what can happen.
yes.
Trey reminded me of those people who know nothing except where they came from, and that's all they care about.
And the fact that he got so upset with him like
He
that
got
is
mad.
real.
It's
It's
yeah,
because I don't get to leave, so why do you?
right.
I'm stuck here, nigga. Like, what else can I do?
It was jealousy mixed with like betrayal. He felt betrayed that he was staying. It's like, how you gonna leave me like that? And I like the fact that he got emotional. Both of them got emotional, and Will is like, he's still like, don't like basically don't leave like that. Don't leave like this, like I don't want to lose this friendship type of thing or whatever. That was the piece of him that was still stuck there. And like leaving is kind of like okay, but even though that happened, he still didn't forget about where he came from.
Exactly. That
But I
was
thought that storyline was important.
very, very much so. You had to touch on that because nobody just moves somewhere and don't,
And
especially when
forget.
you had a relationship at home, you had a life at home. You had a life
Right.
before you came here. So it didn't life wasn't so trash to you. You didn't want to leave.
Right.
You had to.
Right.
Well, of course, you're gonna have issues being there and adjusting, and then your friend comes. I love the fact they let the friend come stay for a little bit
Yeah, I
and
did
and show
too.
them all that hospitality. At the
And
same
he
time,
still went with it. He was
yeah,
like, "This cute,
it's cool. Yeah,
but I'm ready to go."
exactly. I'm going back home because this is not for me. This is not. I'm not
Right.
used to this. So
He was calling it fake. He like, "You want to live over here like with these fake people, this
right
mansion." Like he was jealous of how they were living, but at the same time, he didn't want nothing to do with it.
at all.
It was like, this is nice, but it's not me, and it's
Exactly.
not you.
And
So what are you
he
doing?
could have easily like stayed like oh well I'm a mooch off of them.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
I'm a mooch off of Yope. But he a real nigga for that. He
The
could have
fact that he didn't want nothing to do with it. I don't care nothing. Like this little house, and the whole time he was just had like a bad attitude. He got drunk at the dinner. He just did not care.
yeah. Any other characters you wanted to touch on?
I think those were the only
Those are the
ones.
main ones. I feel like there's a whole lot more that they can do. Like this is just
Yeah.
scratching the surface.
I'm ready for the next season. I'm gonna start watching it tonight.
Yes, it's very very
It's
good.
good. I'm not gonna lie. When they first came out, I was like, that seems interesting, but I don't really.
Yeah, I didn't expect
I'll
it
put it
to.
on my list.
Right,
But
I
I
didn't expect it to blow me away like this. I
me
was
neither.
interested, like the trailer, like original trailer. I'm like, okay, this seemed like it'd be good. And then I heard Will
Mhm.
got behind it. I'm like, he's not gonna mess it up, but it's not gonna be like just blow me away TV. And I'm like, I'm blown
Right.
away just by the
No, it
casting
was
by itself.
amazing.
I'm like, just the casting by itself blew me away. Like,
Yeah, it blew me away too. Definitely exceeded my expectations. But I also didn't go into it with expectations. Because I
right,
feel like when you do, that's when you don't enjoy it. Like you should
exactly.
just let it be what it is.
Yeah. I think
Either
that's
you
what
like it or you not.
a lot of people didn't do because they wanted it to be Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and it's not. It's
It's
just
not.
why? Why do you want? I don't want that. I don't want to see. I don't really like remakes. Like
But at the same time, too, people didn't want it to be Fresh Prince of Bel Air
right.
because they didn't want to reboot. It's like, why y'all keep doing all these reboots? We don't need reboots or whatever. Like, leave the shows alone or whatever. You have those, and then you have I want to reboot, but I want it to be exactly how it was.
Yeah,
I don't really care for reboots because I feel like they're trying to be like the show
too much.
too much.
It's a balance that you have to have if you're gonna. This is I think this is the difference between a reboot and a remake. I want a reboot, not a remake. Don't be the series, but put little Easter eggs in their callbacks, like Jazz being owning the record store. That's a big thing for me. You know, the way
Hmm.
that they talk, the fact that Uncle Phil is still a lawyer, like little small Easter eggs.
Things like that,
Yeah,
right?
it's like okay, these are callbacks, but this
Like he
character,
rich, but he not like the judge yet.
right,
So that
right,
means his character got room to grow, and I want to see that.
exactly. And we're gonna see that growth over the next few seasons. I'll be mad if they cancel it, but I don't feel like they will
I don't
because
think so either.
it's very, very good. So it's like,
And it's unproblematic. I feel like they talk about issues without being weird about them and problematic about them, and without those issues being the character's full personality. Like
exactly.
Ashley is, she's questioning her sexuality, but it's not her whole existence.
I hate when shows have to do that obligatory gay character or
I hate
whatever.
it too.
It's just like you threw this in here, and it's obvious that you're just doing it to appeal to the LGBT community. We don't want that.
You don't
We
want the
make it natural. Okay, this
yeah,
I like it when you just so happen to find out that the character is. It's
right.
not
And
like
it's
it's
not their
a main plot point.
it's not their personality.
Right. It's just like, okay, they're gay, keep going. Like,
Right.
and that's how it felt to me. Like, okay, because like she could have been like, it could have been Hillary could have been thrown off completely when she said that and be like,
Like
no,
what?
she kept giving her advice at that point.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, okay, a girl. So keep like
So do this. Right. It didn't make it weird because people when you tell a person you come out, when you tell a person that you're not heterosexual, whether whichever label you fall under, they immediately think that the world is different for you. So when giving dating advice, I don't know what to tell my son about dating a man. I ain't never been with a man before. You tell him
Right?
the same thing you would tell
Same
him about dating a
thing.
woman. Like, what
Same
are you
thing.
mean? They is the dating doesn't change. It's just that he likes the same sex.
That's what I tell all my nieces and nephews. The same thing. It's just the same. I don't care
It's
who
the
you dated.
same.
Treat them right. That's the important thing.
Right.
Tell them how you feel. But what about
Exactly.
this? That just be you. All of this,
Exactly.
all of this thing that they used to tell people, oh, you got to pursue people, extra, do extra. No, just be you.
Be
Don't put
you.
on a facade. Don't act fake. If you want to call them, just call them. Don't wait the 3 days. Like that was the
Exactly.
stupidest thing to me.
That's
I'm not. I'm
stupid.
not waiting 3 days. Yeah, I got your number tonight. I'm calling you tonight.
Call you right now. Like I be telling people anytime when it comes to dating, yeah, I got feelings for you. I'm not pretending that I don't got feelings for you I
Exactly.
got feelings for you, yeah, but I know how to handle my feelings.
Every single relationship that I've been in, that's one thing that they will all tell you. I was upfront from the beginning. I like you.
Oh yeah.
Straight up.
Same.
I like you.
Talk about I don't want you to get feelings, nigga. They have been caught. I
Exactly.
wouldn't even be talking to you about any have feelings for you. That's how I roll.
Exactly. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm not sitting here pretending and all of that. And maybe I do,
Exactly.
maybe I don't. No, I like you. That's-
Exactly. That simple. I
so
like you. And if you don't like me back, cool.
so what does the sensual genius rate this show? Rate Bel Air.
I'm giving Bel Air a 9.5. I really like Bel Air. I there's so many avenues that they can go down to make the show of as amazing as it already is to keep it this way. And I really like it. Like I like from the characters to the storyline, everything. Like the pacing, the way that they pace
Mhm.
things. Um I give it a 9.5. Like I love it.
I my rating is the same, 9.5. And the only reason I can't get that last point five because I know that there's more.
Yeah, like it's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning, but this
Yeah.
first season is flawless. No storyline I was not interested in. There
Right.
wasn't no point where I was just like, skip to the next thing. I'm just like,
Right.
I'm in it. I'm just like, okay, the Carlton storyline, the Trey storyline, the fact that it wasn't all centered around Will. It was
Yes.
just like they had their lives going before he got there, and
Yes.
he just so happened to get there. Now he has to find his way, just like they're finding their way into everything. The fact that Jeffrey was not a butler, thank God, thank God. Please, I don't want to see another black
And
man
he's
doing.
so fine, bro. Sheesh.
And great actor. Uh, the fact that Hillary wasn't ditzy because like I said, I did not want that. I would have been very
I
upset.
swear.
I would have been very upset if she was the dumb girl on the show. No,
Yeah.
I don't. I don't like those dumb characters, especially on a drama. You don't
I
need
don't
it.
like it. Period.
Like, but
Even though
every
there are people that act like that a little bit.
but every sitcom has to have one.
Yeah.
Especially every black sitcom has one, and we remember all of them.
Yeah.
That's crazy. In in
But then you like, did you like knew black people that were like that?
not really, not like
Me
that,
neither.
not that dumb. Everybody had a friend that was a little bit, but
A little
not to
dumb.
that
And then
extreme.
when they I'm not gonna say dumb, like when you do come across somebody who I'll say not dumb, but maybe they had like a learning disability or something like that. It was like that. But somebody to just be
Exactly.
that's a characteristic. I just
No,
that's
and
weird.
these characters are basically clones of each other. Cole from Martin, Jazz, and Hillary, uh,
Because Jazz was dumb too.
Waldo from Family Matters. Like these are
Yeah.
just the carbon copies of the same character, and it's like you have to have it in each sitcom. Why? I don't understand, but I
For
hate it.
the like one of the main character to make fun of.
Exactly. I think they're supposed to be to make the main character look better.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's really weird. I don't like it, especially in black shows. I'm not saying white shows don't do it, but
They do.
they do it. But I don't want to see black
Yeah,
people
not on I
portrayed
don't
that
see
way.
it on every show.
there's some where it was just like to
It's
the
usually
work.
like cheerleaders type
Yeah,
stuff.
something like that. But it's not like just dumb. Like
Yeah.
the worst example of this to me was My Wife and Kids, Junior.
Yeah.
Dumb as hell.
I love My Wife and Kids, but he
Me
was so
too.
stupid
Dumb as hell. Why are you this come on, man.
for no reason.
No reason. Like you were
Just
obvious.
to have somebody for the main characters to make fun of.
Pretty
'Cause his
much.
dad, the way that his dad was treating him, that was almost abusive.
It was abusive. He was it was bad. But
Yes.
so you said 9.5, I said 9.5. Fantastic show. I cannot wait to review season 2 with you and see
I
the
can't wait to
journey.
watch it.
I feel like this show, uh, like we talked about, you had fell off a cliff or whatever, like it kind of fell off the last.
Yeah,
I don't think this show will do that
me neither. I have
be-
faith that it won't.
because there's so many different storylines that they could explore, and like
And I feel
I'll
like they
be
would have to try to mess it up. They would have
try.
to really try to mess it up.
It'd be have to be somebody in the writers' room that was just like, let's sabotage this.
Yeah.
How do we screw this show up? I don't want to work
Let's
here anymore.
send Will back to Philly, but this time Carlton has to go with him and he has to live.
No, no. This show has potential to have spinoffs too. Like
Yeah,
I want the Jeffrey backstory.
I do. I want to see that. I also want Lisa to have a spinoff too.
Yes, yes. So 9.5. Uh this has been fun. Another fun episode of the Royal Genius Reviews.
Yeah, we went deep into this one.
We did. I don't
That's how
even know
you
how
know
long
we
this
liked
ran.
it. You
Yeah.
know, that's how you know we liked it.
If it sucked, I think the shorter ones. I don't know though, because we might end up going on a rant, depending on how bad
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. You know how I can get when I don't like I don't like stuff.
So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe,
Comment.
comment, please.
Let us
Let
know.
us-
Oh, we forgot to talk about the Karuchi character,
oh
but
yeah, we could do
we'll
that
save it for next
oh yeah, we could
episode.
we could do it for
Mm,
next episode.
yeah,
Yeah. Because this season's almost over, so like in a month or two we'll definitely be
yeah.
on this. Um
Hold up,
comment.
it's almost over. It's not over because the
No,
whole 10 episodes is on cinema.
no, it's not all the way out. I'm on the fifth episode. The fifth episode just
Oh,
came out
okay.
yet I think yesterday. So
Oh, okay.
uh
So okay, cool. I can
yeah,
catch up then.
yeah, definitely. Comment y'all's what y'all thoughts of Bel Air and drop
Who
some
y'all
remember
favorite character?
for real. I think this is gonna be a debate in the comments.
Let us know who y'all favorite character is.
Um and drop some shows or movies in there that y'all want us
Yeah,
to watch or listen or some music you want us to listen to, you know? 'Cause I'm
yeah.
always down to find something new. Entertainment, it's so much stuff out there to consume. So
It is so much, and you gotta dig to find the good stuff.
but appreciate you guys. See y'all
Thanks for
later.
coming. Bye.